Haiti's deepening political and constitutional crisis has taken on a new tenor with the official expiration of assassinated President Jovenel Moise's government on Monday. Schools and businesses in the capital and elsewhere in the country were shuttered, while security forces patrolled the streets in large numbers, fearing a continuation of Friday's unrest, in which armed gang members reportedly stormed an airport, causing major disruptions and stoking fears of similar acts in the coming weeks, even beyond the now normalized elevated incidents of kidnappings, rape, and general mayhem. The recent airport incident is just the latest as the gangs expand their control of territory across the country and has been accompanied by increasing anti-government demonstrations throughout Port-au-Prince, Haiti's capital. It is against this backdrop of turmoil and insecurity that a prominent opposition group, the Montana Accord, is appealing to the United States to end its support of Prime Minister Ariel Henry and his government. The Accord released a statement on Monday, buttressed by independent constitutional experts, claiming that because the murdered president was due to complete his term in office on that day, the current government is, as of this week, rendered unconstitutional. Apart from this, the group claims that Henry's continued delay of the country's overdue elections pending since 2019, his opposition to the appointment of an interim leader, and the still swirling accusations about him being complicit in the assassination of the president who appointed him make his continued occupation of the post of prime minister untenable. Legislative elections were further delayed indefinitely last year following a series of crises. There has since been no new date announced as the government struggles to create an environment secure enough to safely hold such a poll, something the Montana Accord argues that the government is currently incapable of doing. Instead, the group wants an interim government to be installed under the leadership of Fritz-Alphonse Jean, the former governor of Haiti's central bank. The idea is that Jean's transitional government would stabilize the country over the next 2 years, after which the long overdue elections could be held. However, the potential appointment of a transitional government will not be as easy as getting local authorities to agree on who should lead. The New York Times reports that its discussions with analysts have suggested that the appointment of a transitional government in the way the Montana Accord wants is also unconstitutional. Despite acknowledging that the transitional government would have more legitimacy than the Henry administration, as the Accord is comprised of civil society organizations and powerful political figures, therefore representing the interests of a wider segment of the population, senior staff attorney for the Institute of Justice and Democracy in Haiti, Alexandra Filipova, told the NYT that the most constitutionally compliant government available to Haiti at this time is simple: no government at all. However, Filipova says that although the process suggested by the Montana Accord is certainly flawed, it is a step in the right direction on the path to establishing a legitimate government in the country. Most recently, U.S. officials suggested that the Montana Accord ought to work alongside Henry's government to chart a path forward. However, that will prove difficult, as Henry has already flatly rejected the idea of a transitional government, contending that the next cohort of people to lead the country must be elected to do so, not appointed. The situation is too serious to play musical chairs with the head of state, Henry stressed in an address to the nation. However, he failed to indicate a timeline by which the required elections can be expected to be held.